dope.
All right, I'm gonna read you something that I read here. I don't know nothing about this. I don't know how much is true to this or how much is false to this. I got this from I got this from the internet. So I'm gonna read it, and you tell me what are your thoughts on this? All right.
All right.
All right. When you returned to the WWF in May of 1993, challenging Michaels for the Intercontinental Championship after appearing out of the crowd on Monday Night Raw, you won the title that night, but lost it back to Michaels just a few weeks later due to interference from Michaels' bodyguard Diesel. You have mentioned that it was Curt Hennig who brought you back to the WWF, who was in good terms with Vince McMahon and convinced him that the bad performance at the Royal Rumble was indeed Shawn Michaels' fault, and believed that consequently your own title win was meant as a punishment for Shawn Michaels. Can you elaborate on that?
I can. Wow, that's just on the internet.
What is it? Was it ever meant for you to win the world title at any WrestleMania?
World title, no.
No? All right. So can you answer this for me? Go ahead.
I'm nervous about it.
Go ahead, please.
This is what my understanding, which is pretty damn accurate. Shawn and I had split up after 7 years of being brothers this tight. Had a fallout, we split up. The barbershop window was a big part of it, because I mean that was in. We had a match at the Royal Rumble. Now we shooting, we're telling the truth here, right?
Yeah.
Back then, I don't know what they do now. Back then, you used to tour. We toured, we were on the road all the time, 300 days a year. 20 days in a row, 2 days off, whatever. Back then, before pay-per-view, before a big match, stop it. You snoring. But they used to, I mean, I actually think it was pretty cool. Only thing was, you used to get your match down. You do your match in front of, like, say, Denver, a Denver show, in Salt Lake City, then San Francisco. The bad part of this was those people were about to see the same match if they bought a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
They're gonna say like, oh shit, they did that same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
We always used to go like, but the bigger picture was the money and the ratings.
Yeah, yeah.
And the buy rating. We had to understand that. Well, Shawn and I went around, and after our split up, and we got our match down the night before. It was in Denver, Colorado. We had, to this day, Kurt Angle, a match I had with Kurt Angle about a few years ago, was one, I would say second best. That night in Denver, me and Shawn was the best match in almost 30 or 28 years. The best match I've ever had, me and Shawn together. It was magic. It was just an unbelievable thing. And it was the day before the pay-per-view. So we did what they wanted. We got everything correct. I think it was Sacramento, California. The day of the pay-per-view, Royal Rumble. I wore an air filter suit. Y'all might have seen that shit. Horrible. But everything changed. The whole point of working with each other was to get timing and all your things down. The day of the show, they implemented something different, which was Sherry Martel being a part of it. If y'all remember, she ended up being a big thing there. It changed everything we just did. It changed the timing, it changed the rhythm, it changed the whole flow of the match, which was, okay, we'll make adjustments. Stupid that we just did all this shit for a week and, excuse my language, for all these, and now throw Sherry in there, she'll walk out in between and she'll change the whole damn complexion of the match, and it didn't flow. The agents, and I don't want to throw nobody's name out there, but a particular agent had called, because they always report every night back then, sure they do now, report back how the match is.
Yeah.
We got the biggest, I walked by as I passed out after our match. They were like, man, you ain't gonna believe that, there ain't nothing gonna top this. You better put it in main event, Which it did, and it was the opening match of that, I think it was a SummerSlam. Oh, no, what's the first, Royal Rumble? It was the beginning of the year, Royal Rumble match.
That's what it was, Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Hey, and everything was different because of that, and just being honest again, it's just shooting. I ain't trying to put nobody down. The match wasn't what it was that we fixed, that we built, that we made. You know, them days building up to that, when they stuck Sherry in and said, let's make sure she does this here, she does that there. It changed everything. The rhythm and all that, you know, changed the whole complexion of the match. Wasn't the same, and when it was over, first time ever me and Sean had ever heard, because Vince always come up and say, God, great, great, great. Come up, and we were expecting the same thing. I don't think the match was bad. It wasn't the best. It wasn't what we had done, but you know, Vince coming up to us today, you know, after the show that day, and like, we expected a big old handshake thing. He goes, very disappointed in you guys. Me and Sean look at each other like, is he ribbing? Is he bullshitting? You know, we don't know a thing. I'm waiting. He goes, I heard all these great stories. You tore the houses down, then this, very disappointed. It wasn't, we both knew it wasn't what we've been doing. Yeah. But didn't think it was bad. Didn't think it, you should say it. Yo, I expect y'all to steal the show. And it was far from it. Well, with that, I mean, we both walked off in a daze. I know I did. Sean, I know.
So it wasn't everything that was written here. It made it seem, they made it seem here like if Shawn Michaels was high and he fucked up that match, and that you said he was high.
No. I was. No, it was. Let me finish the story. It was said, which after that happened, Vince's little thing with us, walked off in different directions. But I seen Sean walking in. Hate me if you want to, Sean, but it's true. Seen Sean walk off. You can't, I hate saying it in front of you, but Sean walked off with Vince. And I seen that, and I'm like, didn't think nothing of it until the next day. Which that was a pay-per-view, so it was Sunday, next day Monday. Vince comes over. You see him in my office, which with the arenas, they set a little room for him, which, obviously, the man. Called me and he goes, very disappointed. You know about yesterday. I heard you were drunk. I heard you were, high. I heard you, like we usually say.
Yeah.
It was me. And he goes, I gotta let you go. Now, it wasn't none of those things. Drunk, high, or nothing. Now, I ain't saying I ain't party because I did, but I wasn't drunk that day. It had nothing to do with the match.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with it. But when he's telling me this, and I'm looking at him up until he says, I gotta let you go. I'm thinking, well, you're wrong, which Vince is hardly ever wrong. Yeah. But he's saying all this, and he's like, I gotta let you go. What? Well, the agents, he blamed it on the agent. Which, this comes back to Kurt Hennig. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm long-winded on it. This is a big part of my career, to me, in my life.
Good, so say it. Say every little detail.
So what happened from there was, Vince, I love him to death, man. I didn't understand that day. Of all the things that Vince, I got nothing but respect for the man. Yeah, I fucked up a lot. I'm sure all y'all know that. But there's a lot of times I didn't. And this was one of them I didn't. Yeah. That let me go. He was telling me, Marty, we heard, I heard you messed up. Sean was having to lead you by the nose during the match. What? And it ended up being, it came to a point, I've never seen Vince do this to this day. Never seen him. When he was telling me he had to let me go. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you gotta let me go? Well, it was, you were, for bad. If you're saying it's a bad match, you let me go for a bad match, go out there and fire most of these people. Because if a bad match, half the crew should go. But he's like, well, no, they said you had been drinking. Test me, because we do, the UAs. Test me. He goes, well, nothing you can say. His was his exact words. Nothing you can say, decisions been made.
Wow.
And I'm looking at him like,
wow.
Wait, what do you mean? Aren't you the ball? Who's above you? That you can't. be wrong on this. All he kept saying, decisions been made, and I understand that, y'all might understand that. You know, makes a choice, you don't look back, kind of thing. I guess, you know, I don't know. The man's a billionaire. I can't question that. But that was wrong. That day was wrong. But I mean, you know, I guess you make a few bad decisions and a billion good ones.
Yeah.
That day. But it's a long winded, and I'm sorry, but what had happened out of that, I got fired. I gotta let you go. That's what he said. Gotta let you go. That's fired. Same thing. I just had went through some bull stuff. Couple months later, I'm sitting in my house in Orlando. Kurt Hennig, my boy Kurt, we all broke in together in AWA days. Kurt calls me up in the middle of nothing, like 11, 12 at night, which when we're partying and shit, you know, what do we call it, drunk dialing, or whatever you call it. He calls me up and goes, Marty, I got your job back. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about, Kurt? He goes, no, I got your job back. I'm gonna sit here with Vince. Damn, bro. But so he's like, I mean, like, what? I mean, he's like, I got your job back. That was so heartbreaking to me to get, because this is my love, this is my life, this is me. Wrestling is me, and I am wrestling. I know there's more to wrestling than me, but for me, it's only wrestling. This broke my heart, man. I sat around for a couple months, busted up. Kurt's telling me, got your job back. We play each other, we real.
Yeah.
Play joke. So I was like, Kurt, this ain't funny. He goes, no. He goes, I'm sitting here with Vince now. Got your job back. How that happened, what all that was about, Kurt, Hennig, if y'all remember, Mr. Perfect, and Vince, I guess, rode together in a limo, you know, we got close. And they were talking about it. They were talking about what happened that day. I never knew this part. Remember I told you Sean walked off with Vince, you know, and I walked out. Sean went and told Vince, get mad if you want, Sean, but it's true and you know. Sean went and told Vince, Marty was fucked up. I had to lead him by the nose. He was forgetting all the spots he was doing. He was just fucked up.
Yeah, I read something like that.
Yeah, and I don't even know that's true. That's what I was told.
I read it. I don't know neither.
Yeah, right? I mean, and I heard it straight from Kurt, so it still may not, you know.
Yeah.
This is what I was told. And this is what got to Vince, which pissed Vince off.
Yeah.
Because I told him that day, test me now.
Yeah.
And if I was drunk yesterday, it was the next day, test me. Let me pee in a cup. But the decision was made. He you know, he does that. I respect that. Makes a decision, doesn't look back.
Yeah.
Don't matter. But evidently, and Sean's gonna hate me for this, but I'm just speaking, you know, what you call it, no-kayfaben. Sean the night before passed out. I think it was, we say Sacramento, right? Passed out in a little restaurant place that was